stuff on my heart right now, man. I gladly risk it all right now. It's a life or death situation, man. Y'all don't really understand how I feel right now, man. It's your boy Kanye Titter. Shot-town, what's going on? Yeah, I drink a boost for breakfast, an insure for dessert. Somebody order pancakes, I just sip the scissor. That right there could drive a sane man berserk. Not to worry, Mr. Ace to the Izzles back to Wizard. How do you console my mom or give her light support? Telling her son's on life support. And just imagine how my girl feel on the plane, scared as hell that a guy looked like Emmett Till. She was with me before the deal, she been trying to be mine. She a Delta, so she been throwing that dynasty sign. No use me trying to be lying, I've been trying to be signed, trying to be a millionaire. How I used 2 lifelines in the same hospital where Biggie Smalls died. The doctor said I had blood clots, but I ain't Jamaican, man. Story on MTV, and I ain't trying to make a band. I swear this right here, history in the making, man. I really apologize to everyone right now if it's unclear at all, man. They got my mouth wired shut for like, I don't know, the doctor said like 6 weeks. You know, I had reconstructive surgery on my jaw. I looked in the mirror, half of my jaw was in the back of my mouth, man. I couldn't believe it. But I'm still here for y'all right now, man. This is what I got to say right here, dog. Yeah, turn me up, yeah. What if somebody from the shadow was ill? Got a deal on the hottest rap label around. But he wasn't talking about coke and birds, it was more like spoken word. Except he's really putting it down. And he explained the story about how blacks came from glory and what we need to do in the game. Good dude, bad night, right place, wrong time, in the blink of an eye. His whole life changed. If you could feel how my face felt, you would know how Mace felt. Thank God I ain't too cool for the safe belt. I swear to God, driver 2 wanna sue. I got a lawyer for the case to keep us in my safe. My dogs couldn't tell if I looked like Tom Cruise on Vanilla Sky. It was televised. It's been an accident like Geico. They thought I was burned up like Pepsi did Michael. I must got an angel, cause look how death missed his ass. Unbreakable, what you thought they call me Mr. Glass? Look back on my life like the ghost of Christmas past. Toys R Us where I used to spend that Christmas cash. And I still won't grow up.
Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. We back. Ha ha. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. Good morning. It's Monday. That boy good. We back in the house. Let's go. Yes, guys. Yes, guys. PW he's in Mexico. So I'm going to be doing both streams, right? So AM session and power hour afternoon session, right? So what up, Trading BDA Champster, let's go. Aaron, Roy Elliott, Ardent Customs, let's go. Sean, Derek, what up? So it's gonna be interesting to see this market, right? So let me just kind of flip to the daily chart really quick. This is the daily chart. We closed as a bullish pin bar. I kind of talked about that Friday afternoon. So that's extremely bullish. We're above the EMAs on the 14 and the 50 on the daily chart. So that's bullish for me, right? So as of right now, I'm looking for buys. You know, I'm bullish, right? So we'll see how the market opens up. I'm going to see if I can catch, obviously, the 5-minute opening range trade, breakout trade. That's what I'm gonna be looking for. So we'll kind of see how it shapes up today. But Shane Moore, PW got a tan. Let's go. Jim, good morning. D-Money, hey, good morning, man. How you doing? Yeah, I had a good weekend, guys. Had a good weekend. Watched some football yesterday. Of course, the Dolphins, man. This guy Tua got benched yesterday. Let's go. Finally. Take him. Get him out of there. Get him out of there. Where's Patrick? Patrick's in Mexico. Patrick's racing trucks in Mexico, right? Off-road. Daniel Smith, that boy good. Steven Rosario, what up, D-Money? Let's get to it. Yeah. Hey, look at trying to make that monies. Just trying to make a little monies. JB, what it means if price taken overnight high before 9:30? I mean, I'm bullish. I can tell you that right now, based off the price action, right? It took overnight high, but this is the daily chart. So price closed as a bullish pin bar, and we're trying to break out of this range to the upside. So what I would like to see initially is price come back down. Price to come down basically and retest these lows and then kind of push higher. That's what I'm kind of looking for, to be honest. So we'll see. This is the 5-minute chart, right now. So of course we're getting the expansion higher right now, right? I mean, you gotta love that, but yo, D, you know anything about those Lucid winners? No, I don't, to be honest. Just stay tuned. I mean, you'll definitely get your accounts. Yeah, so if you guys noticed, so coming today, right? So stay tuned. Sounds like you're gonna get those accounts today. Let's go. We back like we never left, chat. So I am excited to be trading the US session with you guys, right? So I'll obviously so the plan today and for the rest of the week is to stream basically 9 to about 11:30, and then I'll come back at 1:30 and do 1:30 to 4. So let's go. Emi, D-Money, we love you. Let's go. Hey, I appreciate that. I appreciate the support, guys. I really do. So yeah, so PW's in the chat. What up? Let's go. My brother from another mother, guys. He's in Mexico, so hopefully getting some R&R as well in there a little bit, you know, nothing wrong with that. But we here to make some monies. We're here to make some monies. D-Money almost working a 9 to 5 now. Listen, guys. All right, so it's October 20th, right? So this is the time right now in retail. So if I was still in retail management at Walmart, I would be working probably 70 hours a week minimum, right? So this is nothing compared to that. So I'm blessed. Music a bit loud. Gotcha. Yeah, I'll turn it down a little bit. All right, is that better for the music? You guys let me know. And host, D-Money's rocking the trading thing. Thank you for being here. Hey, I appreciate that. I'm happy to be here. Like I said, guys, I've said it probably a million times. I'm going to continue to say it. This is my dream job, right? So I don't take it for granted. Johnny, D-Money, do you miss trying to find all the holiday shoppers that were in the back room for the past 2 months? Man, it's crazy. I'm telling you. A-Hall, D-Money in the AM. Let's go. Yeah, PW has me streaming the opening session, US session, and then Power Hour the rest of the week. So it's a D-Money marathon. Let's go. Or should I say a trade-a-thon? Let's go. Can you please tell me if you're entering a trade on the 1 minute too noisy while following your strategy? Yeah, PAC traders. So I try to announce when I'm getting in a trade. I believe since we're live streaming, there's always going to be a 5 to 10 second lag. Unfortunately, I can't do anything about that, but I try to talk about what I'm seeing on the chart and why I'm going to enter a trade. I try to do that on every trade. So obviously, guys, the way that I trade, a lot of you guys know that by now. I am going to wait at least for the first 5 minute open. If price is choppy, what I'm not happy about right now is that price is expanding already to the upside. We got an EMA cross. So just to kind of point out the strategy, right, that I kind of look at. Let me just map this out really quick. All right, so when I kind of talk about, and PW as well, right? So we kind of talk about like the EMA crosses, looking at the momentum. So just to kind of go over this really quick, this one candle that we had on the 5 minute chart, this is the 5 minute chart. We had one candle, the 750 candle. It actually had some momentum to the upside. It closed above both EMAs, right? So that shows me that buyers are in control. And I know this is pre-market, but it still applies because it happens when the market after 9:30 as well, right? This is what I would preferably be looking for. So price closed above both EMAs, the 14 and the 50 EMA. We had expansion. You got an EMA cross that formed. And if you notice, price, the EMAs are starting to expand higher, which means that there's bullish momentum. And when that happens, for me, I'm looking for buys because you got an EMA cross, you got momentum to the upside, and my stop loss is either in between the EMAs or below the 50 EMA, depending on the stop loss, right? So, but we are expanding right now to the upside, 25,137. If I look at this current 4-hour chart, I mean, it's bullish, right? I mean, I don't see anything that tells me that there's sells. There's also a bullish EMA cross on the 4-hour chart as well, right? So we're bullish on the 4-hour, we're bullish on the 1 hour. The daily chart at the moment, last Friday's daily candle closed pretty much as a bullish pin bar with a long wick at the bottom, which means that there's buyers in control right now, in my opinion. So that's what I'm seeing, right? So what I would like to see at the open is I would like to see some kind of, hopefully, retests down, maybe to the EMA cross, respect it, push back up, and then try to join the party, right? But we'll see. We'll see what happens. So Jennifer, yeah, thanks for that, Jennifer. Yeah, I trade the 14 and 50 EMA. 14 and 50 EMA. Let's go. Tom, you ever see when we are distant from VWAP before open, we tend to be drawn back from 9:20 to around 9:45 a.m. lately? So I don't use the VWAP, but I do see that I do notice trends in the market, and I think it's kind of like what you're talking about. So right now we're expanding before the open, which is a little concerning because a lot of times, if we get the expansion to the upside before the market opens at 9:30, a lot of times we'll have a pullback at the market open, right? So just trying to be mindful of that. All right, so give me 1 second. All right, how's the music audio, guys? Because I just saw somebody say that the audio and the music is very loud. Is the music too loud or is it good? All right, let's go. Yeah, I'm excited, guys. I think I'm looking forward to some volatility, right? I mean, that's what we want. Ken Johnson can hardly hear it. Tom, music is fire. Time to bump Randy Watts' greatest hits. I know, right? I believe the children are the future. That's one of my favorite movies, guys. Coming to America, by the way. So yeah, some people don't know about that. But yeah, so we're going to see what kind of price action we get when the market opens. Obviously, right now I'm bullish overall. Higher time frames are bullish for me as far as how I trade and what I see. So my thought process, I'm going to start off this morning with the 5 Apex PA accounts. We'll see what we can run up on those, and then I'll switch to the Lucid straight to funded accounts, right? Ray B pivot points. Yeah, so I don't use the pivot points, guys. Like, my chart's pretty clean. This is how I trade, right? So I do keep in mind like even numbers. So obviously 25,000, like as an example, right? That 25,000 level is a psychological level. I do kind of keep that in mind. And my target points, like, so if I'm looking to the left on the chart, as of right now, short term, that 25,152 level will be an area of interest, right? Because that's actually the last 4-hour candle's previous high. And then above that, I see 25,180, because the last time we were in that area, we had a pretty huge sell-off, right? So if we can get above that, then I would say that this 25,353 level, which when you look to the left on the 4-hour chart, that's like that last support area, if you want to call it that, right? Gaming trader, hold up for a second. D-Money, you got makeup on, bro. Ha, nah, man. Let's go. Got a cut. I got a cut this weekend. Shout out to my barber, Miguel. So he's might be in the chat. Let's go. White Fox, do you think we can keep up this momentum and finally retrace the down move today and this week? I mean, anything's possible in this market. I mean, last week Trump was pretty much every day in the afternoon he was speaking during power hour time frame, so you never know. Adardo Reyes, hello D-Money, hey, what's up? D-Money, don't let that boy push the airline back. We coming back. Milos, D-Money is a legend. Keep going. Hey, I appreciate that. I've gotten a lot of like DMs, guys, text message, or not text messages, emails, DMs with support. So I appreciate it, guys. So I just want to be the best trader I can be, right? And add value to the BDH network. So Kurt's corner of the world. What do I mean by psychological levels? So even numbers tend to be psychological levels in trading. So like if I'm looking at the chart right now, we're at 25,133. So that 25,000 level, like the even number, 25,000 is a level where traders tend to have stops and buy orders, as an example, because it's an even number. And if, like, I kind of studied the quarter theory back in the day. And the quarter theory kind of breaks down like even numbers, you know, like, so as an example, right? So like 20,050 is kind of like a psychological number because it's, if you have $1, right, and you split it in two, you got 50 cents twice, right? So as an example, just psychological stuff. White Fox, have I tried other pairs like ES or gold? I think I started off with, when I first started in the futures market, I kind of looked at ES a little bit, didn't like it. It was a little too slow for me. Never got the hang of gold. Gold always moves when I'm not in it. So I stick to NQ. PAC Trader, DMONEY, roughly what was your P&L for last week? I know I was up like 10,000 on Friday. I would say probably about 15K, maybe 16,000, something roughly like that, maybe a little bit more. Dad's Honest Hauls. Correct, brother. Let's go. Stunner, morning, my man. Hey, what's up? What time frame am I in? So my strategy, guys, I actually trade. I'm gonna primarily take entries off the 5-minute chart, but it's based off the 1 hour and 4 hour chart, right? But obviously the open and the 9:30 open is a little different because that's a momentum play. So I'm gonna let price kind of dictate my movement, right? And like I said, this is the current 5-minute chart, which, you know, it's expanding to the upside right now. But you know, that could change, right? A lot of times what I've noticed, just kind of studying the market, you do get an expansion before 9:30. There'll be some kind of reversal, even if they're going to take price higher. So that's what I'm hoping for. Might not always get it, right? I'm not perfect either, guys. Like, I know that, you know, I wish I was. I wish every trade worked out perfectly for me, but that's not going to happen. It's not realistic, right? So I'm bullish right now. That's my bias, just based off of what I see on the higher time frame. But that doesn't mean that we won't get a retest, right? And what I mean by that is, so if you look at this current 4-hour candle, let me measure the bottom wick of the 4-hour candle. So the bottom wick on this current 4-hour candle is about 50 points, roughly, right? Which is not too bad. But I would like 10 o'clock's 4-hour candle to basically push down and maybe retest somewhere down here and then get an expansion higher, right? So I'm not going to chase it right now. Obviously the market, you know, I'm going to wait for 9:30 and we'll see how it shakes up. Your neck is going to be sore after seeing your setup. Nah, I'm pretty comfortable. But Bashar, Mahid, or Muhammad, have I been in a movie before? No, I have not been in a movie before. Soccer Natic. Did Patrick get arrested in Mexico? Is that why you're in this time? Yeah, he got arrested, man. That was one of his phone calls. He called me. He said, "Hey, I need you to do the AM show." I said, "No problem." Burning, howdy DMONEY. Have you made trades yet? No, I have not. I'm waiting for the 9:30 open, so I'm gonna wait at least for the first 5-minute candle to form. I typically trade the 5-minute open range trade, right? DMONEY was James Carter from Rush Hour, right? I know, right? Can I please elaborate on the 5-minute ORB? So yeah, I'm basically gonna wait for the first 5-minute candle to open and close, and I'm gonna map out the high and the low of that candle, and I'm gonna wait for price to break to either direction of that candle and try to get try to enter a trade, right, based off of that. But I'm primarily a price action trader, price action and momentum trader. So right now, I would have loved if price was actually dropping, and then we got maybe, you know, some momentum that comes in at 9:30, closes at 9:35, that first 5-minute candle to the upside with an EMA cross, and I could have joined, right? But right now, price is expanding, so I would love to see some kind of retest to the downside, maybe to trap sellers, and then expand higher. So, but we'll see, right? We got to be versatile in the market, so we'll see what the market gives. Smart Money, good morning, D-Money. Hey, good morning. How are you? Raylene, you're a GOAT. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I'm honestly, guys, I'm humbled to be here. I say that all the time. I don't take this for granted, right? So just trying to be the best trader I can be. Let's go. Aja is D-Money. Is Trade-Evade prop different from regular Trade-Evade? So I think there's probably going to be more features added, but it's not different, right? So, but I'm pretty sure there's going to be more features added in the future for Trade-Evade. But that's all that I use. I've used Trade-Evade since I started trading futures. I trade copy accounts, so I'm going to be trade copying 5 Apex funded PA accounts, and also 5 Lucid straight to funded accounts today, right? Lindier, where's Pat? PW's in Mexico. So I think it's a mixture of racing some trucks in the desert and actually probably a vacation, right? So, or a little bit of time off. So he popped in the stream earlier. I'm not sure if he's still tuning in, but he's in Mexico. Lar Lopez, is the trade copier free on Trade-Evade? Yes, it is. It's included when you select whatever prop firm you decide to go with. Typically, you make a selection as far as who you're going to trade with, right? And that's included. All right, we got about 3.5 minutes before the market opens. So just kind of waiting, right? I'm gonna wait for that first 5-minute ORB to set up, and you guys, I'll kind of talk through my thought process. If the market's choppy during the first 5 minutes, then I'll typically wait for the first 15, right? Which would be the 15-minute ORB. So it just depends on what the market's gonna give. So I'll kind of talk through that as we get closer. Rosier, hi D-Money. Do you always stick to 1 to 3 trades a day, or is it something you had to work on? It's something I had to work on. So so this session is more volatile and there's more movement. So, but I'm gonna try to catch, I'm gonna, you know, take what I can get, right? But at least per session, I would say 2 to 3 trades. That's typically the max, unless I see something that's crazy setup that I love. 2 to 3. But yeah, it took a while to get to this point. I was the master of over trading, chat. Like, to be honest, I'm gonna always keep it real with you guys. I was the master of over trading, blowing accounts because maybe I missed the move and I just got in to try to catch it at the end of a move, and what would happen? Reverse, right? So takes a lot of work. CO Cruz, hit the like button for D-Money. Hey, yeah, if you guys could, I would appreciate that. Hit the like button. If you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button. Let's go. PW told me if I don't get over 1,000 likes, I'm gone. Yeah, I'm just playing, guys, but I would appreciate it if you do me a solid. All right, so this 5-minute candle is right at the 14 EMA. We do have expansion. So kind of like what I'm looking for, right? Like I kind of said, the EMAs are spread apart, which is good, but this is all pre-market price action. So I need to see how the market opens up. So is it going to be a retest back to the downside? So this is the 1 hour chart currently. When I look to the left, we rejected from this area the last time we were here. So that's in the back of my mind. I do have the... All right, so these two lines on the chart, this 25,055 level and the 24,410 level, that's actually the previous daily candles high and low, right? So that's mapped out on my chart. I do that every day just so I have an idea if we're inside of the range of the previous daily candle or if we're already outside of it. So right now we're outside of the daily range of Friday's candle, right? So right now we're kind of dropping back down. Market's gonna be open, right? Couple seconds. All right, so we are open. So let's see. We got expansion to the upside right off the 14 EMA. And it's breaking out right to the upside. So I'm a 5-minute chart trader, guys, and I know that you know, some people go down to the lower time frame, but I kind of stick to my strategy, right? So all right, we're above the 14 EMA. So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna wait for, and of course we're expanding right away, right? I mean, that's life. This is the 15-minute candle. So I'm gonna wait for this candle to close, right? We got about 3 minutes and a half. I do like that we're above the 14 and the 50 EMA, and the EMAs are spread apart. So what I would like to see, preferably, is the next 5-minute candle comes down and does a retest, maybe, and I can join the party to the upside. But we'll see how this candle closes. We got about 3 minutes. Ken, long already. No, I'm not long. I'm not long already. I'm not in the long. I'm gonna wait for at least the first 5-minute candle to close, because I try to trade the 5-minute open and range breakout. But I do see that bulls, as of right now, right? Bulls are in control. Quick 200 scalp. Hey, congrats. Satisfaction real. Where's PW? PW's in Mexico. In the desert. Let's go. John Ching, down for the day, my friend. Hey, nice. Yeah, guys, I don't typically, I wait for the 5-minute candle to close. That's just how I trade, because a lot of times you'll get a push up and then it'll come down and do a retest. And if you're getting in so high, like, where's your stop loss gonna be, right? So I try to have a measured stop loss. You don't always get it. So, but I've seen price retrace too many times on me if I jump right in. So I try to wait for the first 5-minute candle. Where's Jerome? Yeah, Jerome's in the ATL. Jerome, I had to drop Jerome off at the bus station on Friday, guys. He had to get back to his 8 kids and his baby mamas. Around sound. Good morning, DMONEY. Hey, good morning. All right, we got about a minute left. So what I typically start doing is I'll just start mapping out I can map out the low more than likely now, right? Because that low probably is gonna hold. Probably a good chance that it's gonna hold. 114.75. And then I'm gonna map out the high. And if it changes, that's fine, because I can always just go back in, right? And readjust it. So it's 201.50 right now. All right, so what I would like to see, I'm using the 14 and the 50 EMA. Guys, I can change the color to whatever color. I mean, that's not gonna, let's see, we can do black. If you wanna do black, that's fine. All right, so the next candle open. All right, so that's the 5-minute candle mapped out, right? So the 5-minute opening range is set. It closed above the 14 EMA. And I'm basically hoping for a retest down to 136 area. Might not get it, so just trying to be patient. Let me see if, give me 1 second, guys. All right, so let's see how the 15-minute chart's kind of building. It's just straight up, right? Straight up to the upside. So this 201 area is, like I said, what I'm looking for, what I would like is price to come down and retest the EMAs. I might not get it. So if that's the case and it kind of holds this 201 area, I'm going to join a party and have a stop loss below 201. Basically, that's the thought process, right? Because I can always re-enter if I get stopped on a deeper retest, but we'll see. All right.
Order filled.
I'm gonna take a buy. We're gonna see if it rejects on me, that's fine. So because I can always re-enter if it has a deeper retest, but and it's not looking good right now. It's looking like it's gonna have a deeper retest, but So this is just kind of playing into that it had momentum to the upside, but like I said, if it retests, guys, that's fine. I can always re-enter lower. So I want to see if it can get to the, and it's not looking good on this trade. So let me close.
Order filled.
I closed it out. And I'll wait now and see if I can get a deeper retest. But it might not happen, right? So let's see. So what I wanted is I wanted this 141 level. I didn't get it. So here's the retest coming, right? So we'll see. So now it is retesting this 205, like 201 area, sorry, 201 area, which was the low of the previous, the ORB, right? The 5-minute ORB. And we're right back inside of the 5-minute candles range. So, and this is the 15-minute candle. It has about 4 minutes left, right? It does have about 4 minutes left. So we'll kind of wait. Not every trade is gonna work, guys, right? So, and I want a deeper retest, but we might be getting it now because it's starting to push back down. And if so, I'll re-enter for a buy. If we hold this 178 level, which is the low of this 935 candle, that's an interesting level as well, because it might not retest all the way down. So that's the only issue. Money Ghost, what's good, D? Hey, what's up? All right, so this 15-minute candle, you got about 2 minutes, 20 seconds left. It's holding this area. So right now it is building, putting in higher lows on a 5-minute chart, because you had a low at 178. So far this current candle's low is 186. So it's trying to build up some upside, but you got about 2 minutes. So we'll see if it flushes down and maybe tries to retest this 146, or if it's gonna hold this level and push higher. What's my favorite budget meal? Chick-fil-A, let's go. Chick-fil-A or Chipotle? I used the 14 and the 50 EMA. And I closed that first trade, guys, because I didn't like the price action. I try to control my stops as best as possible. So that's why I closed, right? I'm still overall bullish, but right now we're closing right at, so this 5-minute candle, the 930 open candle, the body of that candle, also what 186 is a level where typically the price is gonna push higher. A lot of times it'll kind of bounce off of that level and expand higher, but we got about 50 seconds left on this 15-minute chart. Yeah, PW's in the chat. If you guys have not hit the like button, please hit the like button, do me a solid, and subscribe to the channel if you're not subscribed, right? So basically what I'm looking for now, I'm just trying to wait. 20 seconds left. 15-minute ORB is going to be set. The high of it is 225, roughly. And price is kind of back inside of the 5-minute candle's opening range. DMONEY, why do you feel the EMAs being spread is a good thing? Because when they spread out, it shows that there's momentum in the market. All right, so we're expanding higher. I'm going to try another buy, guys. My stop is going to be 177. And that's just seeing the momentum to the upside, so we'll see. This is just anticipating that we push higher, but I got a small stop on this trade because of the EMAs, right? So just being mindful. So I would like to see some momentum to take out this 225 area. Let's go. Let's go. He's so calm. Guys, that comes with just trading, right? I mean, not every trade's going to work. Even if you're right on the direction, you know, you got to live with the trade, right? Put the trade on, let it ride. Let's go. So what I would like to see happen is price puts in a new high, but it's starting to pull back a little bit. I was in profit for a second, right? But let's see if we can get up here and put in a new high above this 224 area. It's kind of stalling, but it's, let's go. Let's go. Nice, 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 nice. I like the momentum. So let's see if we can get above this 225 without pulling back. Around sound, the best thing I learned from you is patience. Hey, I'm glad I can add some value, right? So it takes work, guys, to be patient, to be honest. Come on, baby, come on. There it is. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go. Let's go, chat. So what I would like to see is just a pop past these highs of 226. Trying to be patient and hold it. Nice. Come on, baby. Nice. All right, nice. There you go. Let's go. Let's go, chat. That boy good. That boy good. Let's go. That boy good. That boy good. You gotta have fun, guys, right? All right, so let's see where we're at on those accounts. So this is the Apex accounts I'm copy trading. All right, so I'm up over 2,000, right, so far. We'll take it. Let's go. All right, so let's review that trade. So, and this is a good example, guys, of like why, like you don't actually, you're gonna have losing trades, right? So that first trade I took, it was a buy. The direction was correct, but I didn't like the price action because I kind of smelled the reversal coming before pushing to the upside, right? So, but what we saw price actually have a retest, right, of the previous candle's low. It held that low and closed. So I basically took the buy, expecting price to put in a new high, right, on the 15-minute chart, to be honest. And that's what we got. So let's go. I'm just trying to make some monies. D-Money was sweating with those 10. So remember, guys, I'm copy trading. So I'm actually trading 5 Apex accounts. So when you see 10 on the screen, that's actually divided by 5. So that's 2 contracts per account. Let's go. I'm expecting 24,999 and back to all-time high. I mean, anything's possible. So, all right. So what I would like for the next trade is I would like for price. I still want a retest of the EMAs, guys, right? I want a cheaper trade, to be honest, for buys. Might not always get it, but Daniel looked like a gamble. Hey, I can't, if it looks like a gamble to you, then you're not understanding the strategy that I'm actually talking about, right? I talked about it before the market opened. Price is above the EMAs on the 5-minute chart. Price is bullish. I wanted a retest of the EMAs, but I didn't get it, right? I basically saw that price put in a high above the 5-minute opening range candle. That to me is bullish. As long as we hold the low of the candle that put in a higher high compared to the 5-minute ORB, price for me is still, it's a buy. So if you think it's a gamble, maybe you probably don't understand like how I'm looking to trade. So Matter cracking a Celsius in honor of D-Money. Let's go. I have a question. What happens if I break the 30% consistency rule on Apex? Am I going to lose my funded account? No, you're not going to lose your funded account. You just have to make more money before you're able to get a payout. Yeah, guys. So, all right. EMA. All right, so we're gonna just cover this real quick. I guess my bias was bullish because we had an EMA cross that was already formed, right? You got expansion of the EMA cross, right? Because the EMA, the 14 and the 50 is to the upside. This 930 candle is a monster candle. Right before 930, you had a retest of the 14 EMA, and the 930 open candle expanded crazy to the upside, telling me that bulls are in control. So I was looking to join the party for buys. That was my process. So everybody trades differently, guys, but I pretty much explained that at the beginning before even taking a trade. So, all right, so what would I be looking for now? So if I kind of, let's do this, right? So we're gonna draw out, we're just gonna expand it to the 15-minute opening range. The high of that candle is 225. So that's the 15-minute opening range that you see on the chart, right? So we're kind of hanging out. So what I would like to see is some kind of retracement down to rejoin the party for buys, right? So we took 2 trades. Both of those trades were buys. The first trade I got stopped out because my stop loss, I didn't like the price action. It was doing a retest. Close that trade, re-enter for a buy, right? So sorry guys. So yeah. So the 2 black lines that you see on the chart, that's the 15-minute opening range, right? That's the first 15-minute candles high and low mapped out. And right now we're kind of rejecting. We're still in that range, right? So we're going to kind of wait to see if price maybe pushes down, does a proper retest, and then I'll try to join longs again for buys, right? Knock is DMONEY. Let's go. Yes, EMA crossover is 14 and 50 EMA, correct. 14 and 50 EMA. Andrea 05, DMONEY, thanks for sharing your knowledge with us. Keep it up. Hey, I'm just trying to make a little money. I'm just trying to show how I trade, guys, right? Trading is discretionary. There's no, everybody's going to have their style of trading. There's going to be similarities. Like PW, actually, he'll look at the EMA crosses as well, but his settings are different. He uses the 9 and the 21 EMA. There's no wrong settings for your EMA, right? It's a personal preference. But right now, like I said, the 2 black lines that you guys see on the chart, those are actually, that's the 15-minute opening range. We're right back inside of that range, right? So no need to rush another trade. Let price kind of figure out where they want to take it, right? And then you kind of go from there. Maiden, pass another eval. Hey, congrats. Now the real party starts, right? Once you get the account funded, that's when it gets real. Chris, DMONEY, you made me start playing with the EMAs, and I really like the 12 and the 40 and the 42. Yeah, like I said, it's a personal thing, guys. I'm not here to tell you that my EMA settings are better than any other EMA setting. That's not true. It's just a personal preference. Wesley, what's my bias? I'm actually bullish, and I'm going off the higher time frame. You look at the 4-hour chart. You got an EMA cross, a bullish EMA cross. That tells me that price wants to go higher. So my ultimate level, like right now, is at 356, like this area right here. And like I said, this is the 4-hour chart, right? So if I kind of draw a box across, just so it's easier for you guys to see on the screen, that's the last area where price was in that area. It actually rejected, right? So that 356 all the way up to like 385 area could be a potential price target. Doesn't mean it's going to hit it today, but if they're going to remain bullish, that could be an area of interest. So yes, new hour candle is about to open. So if you guys can hear that, that's actually my 1-minute alert for the 4-hour candle is gonna close, and that means a new 4-hour candle is gonna open, right? As well as the 1-hour candle. So I'm always cautious of the time frame. So now, like I said, the opening of this new 1-hour candle and 1-hour and 4-hour candle, I would like for price to push down, form some kind of bottom wick, and then continue to expand higher. So that's my thought process. Abel, PW's actually in Mexico. Let's go. He's in Mexico. He got arrested, and I had to send him some money to get bailed out. So he'll be back streaming, believe normal schedule next week. Let's go. So yeah, he's in Mexico doing some racing in the desert. So I'll be streaming both the US Open and Power Hour this week. All right, so this is the open of the next 1-hour candle. Right now we're pushing straight up, no bottom wick. I would like to see price push down and form some kind of bottom wick before expanding higher. This is the 15-minute chart. He was going to do something for 200 pesos. Oh man. What did he do to get arrested? He was speeding in his truck. No, I'm joking. He didn't get arrested, guys. That was just a joke. Yes, 14 and 50 EMA. New 1-hour candle. No bottom wick so far. Price just kind of pushed straight up. Yeah, I don't really watch the daily candle only because I'm using the 4-hour. But I mean, currently, something to note, the reason why I was bullish coming into today is because Friday's daily candle closed to me as a bullish pin bar with the long wick at the bottom. So that tells me that there should be strength to the upside. So Driz, let's go DMONEY. Hey, what's up? I appreciate it. Chat's still undefeated. Yeah, the chat's always going to be undefeated, right? So Radical 911, how much time do I give the 1-hour to form something? So, I mean, it's only been open for 2.5 minutes, right? So I'm cautious of that. Like I said, I would like for price to push down because right now we're still in that 15-minute ORB's range, right? So I would love for price to kind of push down and retest down here somewhere and kind of regain some strength so I can join and have a better measured stop loss, ideally, but we'll see. Sharon, you have a busy week with Patrick away. Yeah, I mean, I was going to be streaming the afternoon session anyway, right? So 1:30 to 4, and I was going to try to catch trades in the morning, so I'm here. Let's go. DMONEY, what should I do in order to get my first payout? I'm in my second PA and I'm struggling. Try to be patient, not worry about the payout. Try to take A+ setups. That's my best advice I can give you, right? So, all right, so we're back on a 5-minute chart and price is trying to expand higher. So if I was gonna look for buys, my stop right now would have to be like 203 because that's the previous low that was put in on a previous 5-minute candle, right? If it breaks below that level, then I wouldn't want to be in a buy. I would want a better retest. it's just kind of hard right now because on the 15-minute chart, all right, so this is the first candle that's kind of breaking outside of the ORB, right? The 15-minute opening range. Story about my first payout. Yeah, so, well, it's kind of funny because my first payout actually was in the Forex market, not futures, right? Because I used to trade Forex. So I had an $85,000 payout with the funded trader. If you guys remember the funded trader, right before they actually shut down too, believe it or not. So I got lucky with that. And then I got payouts from funded engineer as well before they close. Yeah. So I'm kind of watching to see this price action. Is price gonna just continue to expand higher without doing a full retest? This is the 1 hour chart. We do have a bottom wick now that formed. It's about 10 points. You've been closing the Forex prop firm, so we worry that you are in futures now. LOL. Nah, you don't have to worry about that. There's tons of money in futures, right? So, all right, we are building up. Like we're putting in higher lows on the 5-minute chart. It could be one of those slow grind days, right? Where you don't get a full retest. You have to kind of put your stop below the previous 5-minute candle's low and let it ride, right? That's what it's looking like right now. So, and it's going to be interesting to see if price closes above this 225 area on the 15-minute chart, because that would be the first 15-minute candle that closed above the 15-minute ORB as well, right? So that black line you're seeing, that 225 level, that's the high of the first 15-minute candle. So if this 15-minute candle closes above that 225 level, that's going to be good for the bulls as well. Kevin, D-Money, do you do the same as Pat? Look at NVIDIA, ES, and Dow. I don't. I'm more of a momentum trader, and PW is better at that than me, to be honest, because if I'm looking at other stuff, I get too caught up in it and I put too much weight on it, meaning that I'll be like, oh, well, NVIDIA's going up, so NASDAQ has to be bullish right now, right? So I try to let price kind of tell me what to do based off of what I'm seeing on the NQ chart. So we're kind of grinding higher. This is the 15-minute chart. So I'm going to be looking at how this 5-minute candle closes. And if it holds bullish, then I might be intrigued for a buy with my stop loss below the current low. Just depends on how this candle closes out, right? So we got about a minute and a half left. When did I start trading futures? I've been trading futures now for a couple years. Joel, please explain the 1 hour strategy. Yeah, the 1 hour strategy is I try to wait for a retest on the 1 hour chart. I want price, if I'm bullish, to form some kind of bottom wick and then start to push up before entering, right? Ideally, that doesn't happen all the time. So we do have to be mindful that the daily chart, for me, in my opinion, is extremely bullish. So you might not get, today might not be one of those days where we get that deep retest to the downside before pushing higher, because price, if you notice what I'm kind of referring to, the 4-hour chart on Friday, or the daily chart, sorry, on Friday, the bottom wick on that candle it's a 380 point bottom wick. So that's a lot of strength to the upside, right? So a lot of times when that happens, you might not get a deep retest. So I'm just kind of letting price kind of dictate what it's going to do. What I'm sensing right now is it's a slow grind up to the upside. That's what I'm seeing. All right, so here's the next 5-minute candle. I'm just kind of watching to see if it forms down with a bottom wick. Puts in a bottom wick and then pushes higher. All right, guys, if you haven't hit that like button or subscribe button, please do. We got 4,100, almost 4,200 people watching right now, so I can't see the likes. I'm not sure where we're at, but PW told me I'm gonna get written up if we don't hit 1,000 likes. Let's go. Yeah, see, just continuing to push higher, right? It's like small retest, push up. What size accounts am I using? American Trader. I'm using 150K accounts on Apex. I have 5 of those funded accounts, and I have 5 Lucid straight to funded accounts right now that I'm using. I am gonna get up to 20 Apex accounts, so I got to get some more funded. So I should have had all 20, to be honest. I didn't have my trade copier set up last week, so my bad. AK DMONEY, when you have time, can you make your wicks thicker on your chart? Hard to see when you're referring to area wicks has gone to. Yeah, I'll take a look at that. Kaylee Sunshine, after taking a win, do you drop your size moving forward to keep the same size? Yeah, it all depends. Like if I'm in profit, I'll probably drop down. Maybe I'll drop down to 1 contract, especially if I'm not feeling great on a trade, if I think it's not an A+ setup. But I would like price on this 5-minute chart to basically kind of come back down here and retest these lows, these short-term lows, and show some strength so that way I can get a better entry, right? That's what I'm preferring. Consistent trader, can you change your chart background to dark? It hurts the eyes to see this. Yeah, unfortunately, this is how I trade with a white screen, guys. I apologize for that. I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but the black screen's not everybody's cup of tea either, right? So I trade how I trade. My setup is my setup. You know, that's why I try to call out like areas that I'm looking at, like, and right now we are kind of putting in higher highs, retest, push up. Right, so I'm kind of looking to see if we hold. The Stoic Trader, love you, DMONEY. Hey, I love you. I love you. TS, put him in the VIP room. No, I mean everybody has their opinion, right? I wish God, like, it's just, you know, how I trade is how I trade, right? What I'm comfortable with. That's all. It's just a preference thing. We're pushing higher, right? It looks like we want to go higher. All right, so we got about a minute and a half left on this 15-minute chart. And price at the moment is looking like it's going to close above the ORB, which is great for bulls. But I still would want some kind of retest to the downside. And the reason why I'm saying that, right, is because let me measure this out from this 930 candle to where we're at right now. We're up about 140 points from the 930 low, right? So I want price to drop and retest before re-entering, preferably, because I've already taken 2 trades, right? So I would like to see price do a retest down here somewhere to be able to join the party cheaper, and then take more buys. Guy, Trump is talking today. I wouldn't be surprised. I feel like that's every day. Consolidation. Let's see. I mean, right now we're expanding higher, right? I mean, we're kind of grinding higher, but if these lows are taken, so like if this 25,212 level is taken, then I would expect more downside short term, and that's what I would want to try to rejoin the party, right? So for longs. Can I tell you, Igor, can I tell you your leverage, please? So this is futures, right? Forex is a little different because you have leverage. So I'm trading 1 to 2 contracts. I'm trading 5 accounts at a time. So when you guys see on my screen, if it says 10 for the position size, that's actually divided by 5 accounts. Typically, I trade 1 to 2 contracts per account. Just a heads up on that. All right, so 15-minute candle has closed, right? So it closed above the opening range, put in a higher high, and then now price is expanding down. 212. So I'm just kind of watching this 212 level to see if it gets taken out or respected. Yeah, so I want to see if this opening range is going to be respected, right? So if not, if we get back inside of it, then short term, bears might be back in control, right? So that's what I'm trying to kind of watch. A lot of times you'll get a breakout of the ORB and then it'll go right back in and in reverse. So you have to be mindful. PW was deported back to Mexico. All right, so let's see how we're looking on the 5-minute chart. Yeah, we're kind of stuck in this range right now, so I'm not rushing a trade. And I'm mindful of the 1-hour chart. So higher high was put in already compared to the previous 1-hour candles chart. So I'm mindful of that because a lot of times what I would ideally want on a 1-hour chart is price pushing down initially at the open, getting a deep retest and not forming that top wick first, right? The top wick. But it already formed that top wick. So a lot of times when that happens, you get a rejection to the downside. So Brad, what happened to the fro bro? So yeah, that's Jerome. Jerome is actually I had to drop him off at the Greyhound bus station, right? He had to go back to ATL. He got 8 kids with 8 different baby mamas, so he had to go. He said he will be coming back, though, pretty soon. Matt, what's up? Hitman trade, Jerome gets busy. Yeah. I guess he was on a run, man. I didn't even know that guy was on a run. He didn't tell me that. So he has some issues I guess he has to resolve before coming back. So, but he said he'll be back. So, so we are respecting this area short term. And this is the area I'm kind of referring to, right? So if I draw this out, is this area gonna hold? We're right above the opening range. Jerome didn't pay child support. Yeah, I don't know what the issues are, but something's not adding up with Jerome. Yeah, we're kind of ranging a little bit. All right, so this 1 hour candle is not convincing as far as right, the strength to the upside, like, so I'm just kind of mindful of that. I'm not gonna rush in and click the buy button for sure, not right now, because we're kind of bouncing right back into that opening range, right? So yeah, White Fox, I agree. It would be nice if we get a retest, a deeper retest to the downside, right? That's what I would prefer, and that's why I'm going to be cautious. I mean, I took 2 trades already. I'm not going to be greedy. But we're kind of bouncing in this area, right? So, and I know, guys, sometimes it's a little frustrating, right? I'm not gonna lie, because if you don't catch, I mean, that first pop at 9:30, you know, and then you had to push up, but I gotta trade it how I trade it, right? Which is I'm basically a breakout and retest trader for the most part. And this opening range, we're kind of like, we're just barely above the opening range, and now we're right back in it, right? So that's why I'm being a little cautious. Martin, can you explain your risk management? Yeah, so I'm typically on an average trade, my stop, and here's that deeper retest, right? So it's kind of like bouncing back and forth. Is 15 to 20 points, no more than that. But I do see on the 10-minute chart, we're kind of putting in higher highs, where if you basically buy right inside the opening range, you're getting a reaction to the upside. But I just don't like how it's looking on the 1 hour chart right now. This is a 30-minute. It would be interesting, go finger 8. It would be interesting to see how the 30-minute chart closes. Yeah, I agree, because look at it, right? So chat, I know for me, like, when I start seeing wicks at the top and the bottom that are almost the same length, that's indecision, right? That means that even if the price is green, even if the candle's green, that kind of tells me that there's a struggle between the bulls and the bears. And I kind of want to wait for more information before hopping into the next trade. All right, here's that push. All right, so we held nicely on the 5-minute chart. This range that we're kind of talking about, the lows is what I'm referring to. It put in a low at 218 and then back up to the upside, right? So let's see on this specific candle, 5-minute candle, about a 30-point pop back up to the upside. DMONEY, do you use ADD to gauge the market? No, I do not. Mila, what's up? Explain what is it that you don't like on the 1 hour chart, because I see a wick to the downside. All right, so on the 1 hour chart, yeah, Mila, so it just had a pop now, but I mean, probably 15, 20 seconds ago, it was a small body and it had a long wick to the top and the bottom. So when I see like, the body of the candle was very small, but now it just started expanding up, right? But I do see the wick, yes. The question is going to be how this 30-minute candle closes. all right, so this 5-minute candle is gonna close. I'm gonna see if we get a push back down, maybe to this 220 area. If so, I'll probably look to join buys again, and then my stop will be probably like 210. Because we're holding this ORB level, right, which is at 225. We bounce right back above it. So yeah, Patrick, you missed it, but hey, that happens. Not gonna catch it all, right? I'm not trying to time the market perfect every trade, guys. That's not gonna happen, right? So I took 2 trades already, so I'm not gonna, you know. PHC Trader, D-Money, do you pay attention to fair value gaps? No, I do not. I don't look at fair value gaps. Yeah, somebody put their doubt they'll go long. All right, so there's a high that was just put in on the 5-minute chart, right? And it's, so yeah, this is that grindy kind of action where price kind of put in a higher high on this 1005 candle, came down to the retest, and now it is expanding higher. So D-Money, glad you're with PW regularly now. How many screens do you look at? So I mean, I pretty much only have a couple screens up. So there's the expansion. 1 hour chart's looking like they want more upside. Like I said, this area here, I wouldn't be surprised. This 355 area. Would be the next level on a higher time frame, where price the last time it was there, it had some trouble. So all right, I'm going to join a buy, guys. My stop is going to be 247, which is the low of this current 5-minute candle. Just anticipating a pop to the upside. We had a retest of the EMAs, and we had an expansion higher, right? So I'm anticipating more upside. I mean, pretty simple trade. Nice. Let's go. All right, I'm up about 13, 14 points. We're going to give it a little bit more time. We'll see if we can get a bigger push up. Nice, nice. I like. All right, there's a retest back down. All right, I'll close.
Order filled.
Doing a retest back down. I don't like that, but I'll just take it. So I was up about, what, 15 points, and it probably was going to push higher. I just didn't like how price was kind of, and it's still going, right? There it is. Different trading live. Hey, Scott Trades, what up? Yeah, so basically on that trade, guys, and I tried to ride that momentum, give it a little bit of time, and I wanted a faster push to closer to 300. It just kind of stalled a little bit, so I closed, right? So it happens, but here it is, right? It's probably gonna do it now. Profit is profit, though. Maiden, you slipped, bro. I don't know what that means, but hey, it was a green trade, right? So we'll take it. Todd, is this guy legit? The chat's undefeated, right? Matt, Paul, no. LOL. Yeah, but guys, you got to remember, right? So if you look at the 5-minute chart, as you push higher away from the, all right, so the low is, the stop was 246. So the higher you go in price, your stop loss, right? So you would have to either trail it or whatever the case may be. And you can notice how we were retesting back down, right? So at the end of the day, guys, green is green. I'm up, let's see. On these accounts, $2,700, $2,750, right? So I'll take it. Brett, where's the fro? I know, right? I gotta get Jerome back. He said he's gonna be coming back. He has some legal issues that he has to take care of, right, with his baby mama. So let's go. Kelly, what's up? Hell of a work day. Yeah, I mean, you got to put it in perspective, guys, right? So sometimes, so if I'm a price action trader, so I know what I'm looking for with price, right? I don't want to see price stall. And you notice how you had this rejection before the push up. It doesn't mean that price won't go to where I want it to go, but if I don't like the price action, I'll close it and then I can always re-enter. That's trading. Not every trade's going to be, you know, a 30 point, 40 point, 50 point trade. I mean, that's just how it is. What up, bro? You're crushing it. Love it. Hey, I appreciate that. Greg, yeah, sometimes our trail, it just depends on the movement, right? If I'm only up 10 points, I'm not going to trail that. Like, so as I get deeper in profit, yeah, I would be looking to trail for sure. But 10 points is hard to trail on a 10-point winner, right? I mean, you could put it at break even. Technically, yeah, you could. But I would like to see a little bit more. I mean, it was pushing nice for a while, right? That trade, it was pushing nice, but then as it started to kind of hesitate and pull back, I didn't like it, so I closed it. That happens. Yeah, nothing wrong with base hits. Base hits they add up. I have no shame. I think I said that before on a previous stream, guys. I have no shame taking profit. So Mike Ryan, you were in a trade for 20. Yeah, it just depends though. Right? It just depends on what's going on with the price action. It's always funny, guys, when you end in a trade and you're green and, you know, it's with the chat, it's either gonna, right? Oh, you should have held it. You should have, you know, XYZ, right? That's all hindsight, guys. Profit is profit at the end of the day, right? I'm trying to make it. I'm trying to get these accounts to payouts. Let's go. And I'm also mindful of where we're at. So because from the last low that was put in, where price kind of did a nice push up, we were probably, what, 50 points? We were like roughly 50, 60 points away from that. So I'm always mindful of that as well, right? So if I'm farther away from where price last had a pretty good retest, I'm going to keep that in mind, because my stop, you know, I'm trying to calculate where my stop has to be. And if you guys kind of notice, we're stalling, right? We're stalling now. So yeah. Miss Free 84, Fax D Money. The haters waiting there for you to do everything for them. Yeah, guys, like I'm gonna, and you'll see that, like I do my best to try to kind of call out what I'm looking at, what I'm thinking. Not every trade is gonna, I'm gonna miss some, I'm gonna leave profit on the table, guys. That's gonna happen, right? My timing's not always gonna be perfect. So I'm not trying to be perfect. I'm just trying to be profitable as best as possible, right? So, but if I see right now, like what I'm referring to with the EMAs, even off the EMA, price is 50, almost 50 points. And at the high, it was 57 points away from the EMA. So I'm cautious of that as well. So, all right. So this 15-minute candle put in a higher high, right? But it's kind of pushing back. So how many trades I got so far? I've taken 3 trades, all buys. They've all been buys. First trade I closed out because I didn't like the price action. And the last 2 trades have been profitable trades. So and it could be kind of building to go higher, because that's what it's been doing, right? For the most part, but. Oh, chat, I went ahead and activated my my phone, right? So I do got the BDH colored 17 Pro activated. Let's go. Ed, I heard it turns pink over time. I hope not, because if so, it'll be right back at the Apple Store. So I did see that when they talked about like the phone getting scratched. I had the 16 Pro in the space black, which is my favorite, I think, color, because it's kind of like a matte, you know, nice like matte finish, but they didn't offer that for the Pro this year. You only had silver, blue, and orange. So went with the orange. Hey, D-Money, have you gotten payouts? Yeah, I've gotten payouts from multiple prop firms in 25, yes. Apex included. Yeah, comrade, I only trade NQ, correct. Yeah, guys, so I try my best. I'm not gonna be perfect, guys, and I know that, you know, I had somebody in the chat the other day that was upset that sometimes I guess there's a lag when you're live streaming, and if I'm calling out, hey, I'm getting in a trade or showing my screen, it's like 5 or 10 seconds behind. Like, I can't do anything about that, chat, right? Like, I'm gonna call out what I see. I try to, you know, my thought process and all of that, and if you continue to tune into the stream, you're gonna catch on to how I trade, because it's pretty much the same trades over and over. Right, that's like the best like advice I can give you, is continue to tune in, and you'll see, you know, you'll see exactly how I trade. Do I see it coming back to 25,205? I'm not sure. I mean, anything's possible, especially if Trump is speaking today. But, you know, it's interesting with this market because, and I think Mila kind of called that out. She was saying like, oh, I see like I only see a bottom wick, but 20 seconds before that, right? Price had a long wick at the top and a bottom, and it was a small body on the candle, and then we just started to expand. So, but as we get further away from the EMAs, that's not really an ideal buy zone for me. And this is on the 5-minute chart that I'm talking about, because like, where's your stop going to be as you continue to buy higher, right? So that's why those retests are important for me as far as how I trade. And I wouldn't be surprised, like I said, guys, that 355 level for me, it is in play. It's just a matter of, if I'm gonna take buys, my stop is gonna have to probably be below the low of the previous 5-minute candle. That's how I'm gonna have to play this, because if it takes out that low, then I don't want to be in a trade, right? As far as a buy, I'm referring to. So, and here we go. It's coming up to that 300 level as I speak. Atro or Artro? No, I do not use VWAP. I do not use the VWAP. I use the 14 and the 50 EMA. 14 and the 50 EMA. John, they are only upset on your winning trades. They appreciate the lag on your losing trades. I don't know, right? I'm just trying to make a little money. DMONEY, do you have an LLC for your payouts, or does it go to your personal account? I need to switch it to my LLC. When I started with Apex, it was not under my LLC, so that's something I need to kind of take a look at for tax purposes, right? Robert, your trade worked twice. I got in on the last pullback. I'm just waiting for 25,300. Hey, nice. And that's pretty close, right? It's almost there. So, Conrad, yeah, I only trade prop firms right now. Max, greetings. Hey, how are you? What's up? So, yeah, I think you can switch. So in regards to Apex, yeah, you can switch Krishna to an LLC, but I think you have to start from like scratch, or like probably email them and have it switched. How do I use my EMAs? So my EMAs are basically, a lot of times they're take profit areas, stop loss areas, and they're also, if they're expanded how they are right now on the 5-minute chart, that for me is bullish. So I'm trying to get in ideally as close as I can to the 14 or 50 EMA, depending on where price is at. And I'm gonna use it a lot of times as a stop loss. The EMAs as a stop loss, right? So They act as support and resistance as well, like if you want to call it that, right? So when price is in a trending market, typically price is going to respect the EMAs, and there's that push, right? This is definitely a slow grind up market as of right now. What is my opinion on the 25K account? Too easy to lose because of the small drawdown. So you have to be, it depends on what size you're using. Because I think on Apex, that's only a $1,500 drawdown, right? So you have to kind of measure. That's why it's important, if you're going to use a small account, you have to definitely measure out your stop loss and kind of stick to it, right? And keep in mind that it's trailing drawdown, it's trailing not just you know, until you get past the buffer. So just be mindful. Kelly, yeah, I hate these days. Slow grinding, not my thing. $400 might be all she wrote for me. All good. Yeah, I mean, sometimes you got to put it in perspective, right? $400 a day. So if you make $400 a day each day for the week, right? You're at $2,000. That's $104,000, I want to say, for the year. If my math is right. Robert, there it is, D-Money. Thank you. Hey, you did all the work, man. Right? Yeah, for sure. Start adding accounts. If I had 5, I wouldn't even consider another trade. Why bother? LOL. Yeah, you have to put trading, guys, in perspective sometimes. One of the mistakes I made when I first started trading was comparing like my profit to others on social media. And maybe I scrolled on social media and I saw somebody make, you know, maybe they had a $40,000-$50,000 day, and maybe I made a couple thousand, right? And I'm like, oh man, like I'm behind. So gotta compare yourself to yourself, right? Like as far as you're on your own pace. You're on your own trajectory, right? So to speak. New all-time high today. I mean, it's possible. So on the daily chart, like I said, I do feel that obviously it seems more realistic now, right? It's funny how that works, but that 355 area or even that 395 area is in play, right? We're already at 306. But it's just one of those like slow grind days that if you didn't get in down here, like by that, you know, that 222 level, you basically just have to scalp and then put your stop loss maybe below the low of a previous candle. That's how I'm kind of playing it. But what I have noticed on days like this, if you don't get a proper retest to the downside, a lot of times that does come into power hour time, right? So just got to be patient. Bart, good job, D-Money, taking my profit. See y'all tomorrow. Hey, have a good one, man. So I will be back, guys, this afternoon as well, right? So I will be back trading. I'll be streaming at 1:30 p.m. Eastern Standard till 4 o'clock, including power hour, right? So that'll be Monday through Friday this week. Let's go. Trump talking between 11 and 12. So is that 11 a.m. and 12 p.m.? X Frostbit. I'm assuming that's probably what you're saying, right? Yeah, I would be cautious in that time then, because there could be some volatility. Bruce, I'll be streaming today until about 11:30. And then I'll be back at 1:30 Eastern time, right? So Real in Profit, 1,500 likes. Let's go. Hey guys, I'm extremely humbled, and I appreciate everybody for tuning into the stream and supporting me, right? So I don't take it for granted at all. Truth, why is Lucid not working? I wish I had an answer for that. Unfortunately, I don't. Why WIKX, you're the man, D-Money. Hey, I appreciate that. Thanks. Wayne, PW picked a winner. Man, it's like crazy stuff, right? I've been watching PW for years, guys, years. Just like a lot of you, a lot of the peeps in the chat, right? So life has, you know, a funny way of surprising you. So I'll put it like that. PW is actually in Mexico this week. So I'm going to be doing both streams. I'm going to be doing the 9:30, the 9 o'clock a.m. to 11:30 session. And then I'll be doing power hour session as well, which is, you know, my normal slot now, which is 1:30 to 4 p.m. I'm your new favorite. As soon as you make 200, a million, you're gonna send me 200. Let's go. D Money, they called me J Money back when I was a hustler of the year in the streets years ago. Yeah, exactly. PW's racing in Baja in Mexico. Yeah, he's in I think this is one of his like lifelong dreams, guys, to be doing this race. So that's what he's doing. All right, so yeah, guys, this is definitely one of those slow grind, you know, basically every low that's being put in is being respected, and then you're getting expansion to the upside, right? That's pretty much what's happening. So we took, so far, about, what, 3 trades? Just trying to, you know, take some of the move, capitalize on some of the move, so I'm definitely long biased right now. There's nothing that's telling me that the market is bearish right now, right? It's just one of those slow grind days. D Money, how do we follow you in the mornings every day, not just this week? So yeah, unless I'm actually streaming from the BDH, guys, that's the only way that you can follow me, right? So I've gotten a lot of questions about, you know, do I have my own YouTube channel, what's, you know, and that kind of stuff. So I do have a YouTube channel, but I'm not active on there, guys. Like, right, like I think the last video I posted was 2 to 3 years ago, maybe 4 years ago, and I don't trade like that anymore, right? But if you go to that channel, you'll see what some of the stuff that I'm talking about. I had a million indicators on my charts. You couldn't even see the screen. It's just funny when you look back. And now I'm more, you know, I've kind of refined my strategy. So if you want to follow me, it's my normal hours for streaming is the power hour when PW's, you know, trading in the morning. My normal, I guess, time slot is going to be 1:30 p.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Friday. But this week I am streaming in the morning, you know, and if PW, you know, wants me in the morning for something, or maybe there's a guest or something and he's telling me to come in, then I'll be a part of that as well. So nice to see how you trade the open. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Yeah, I wish, guys, that we got a drop before the open in full transparency, like a bigger drop. But we didn't really get that, right? So I just had to kind of pick my spots. Every day is a little bit different, right? Every day is a little bit different. $324 incoming here, Coach John. Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Like I said, that 355 level for me is an area of interest. As far as the last time it was in that range, price started to reject and pull back. So I feel that that's in play. Wouldn't be surprised, right? So Diana, first time that I see you, and I love it, D Money. Thank you for the pace of talking. All right, so Alan, this is a good question. Hey, D Money, good morning. How does the consistency percentage work in Lucid? Over how many days is it calculated? So with Lucid, you got a 20% consistency rule. So you have to kind of keep that in mind, and you have to trade for 8 days. So you have to have 8 trading days, and it's a 20% consistency rule, guys. So basically, your highest profit day can't be more than 20%. You have to do that times 20%, right? And that'll kind of give you like how much you have to make. And they do have it mapped out pretty well on their dashboard. It'll kind of tell you like, you know, your percentage. So the more money you make, you know, it's gonna continue to go up, right? As far as that rule. So just kind of keep that in mind per day. So I'll give you an example. On the 150K account, to stay under the 20% rule, you can't make more than $1,800 per day. If you want to take a payout, right at $9,000, it's $1,800 a day. Yeah, and that might be, yeah, John, so you're right. Yeah, so remember, guys, I'm referring to the straight to funded accounts because I have the straight to funded accounts. All right, here's a expansion to the upside, right? So like I said, this is a slow grind day, right? Price puts in a low, gets respected, and then they push it higher, right? That's the theme right now. So D-Money the man, do you have a family? Yeah, I actually have I have a almost 2-year-old daughter. She's gonna turn 2 next month. So I don't know how I feel about that, right? Because now she's at the point where her mom is trying to get her potty trained, right? So, and you know, the car seat is now going to be front facing versus rear facing. So it's like, man, it's like growing up so quick, right? She's growing up so quick. So it's like crazy because, you know, obviously that's part of life, right? But it's like where does the time go? Boy Webski, I use 14 and 50 EMA. 14 and 50 EMA. Yeah, I would love to teach her how to trade. You know, it's just gonna depend on if she's interested in it or not, or if she thinks it's super boring, right? That's it's gonna be one of the two. Bless you and your family. Hey, I really appreciate that. Thanks. Yeah, guys, so if you kind of notice, right, like I kind of talked about earlier, so this is that 225, that black line. That's the top of the 15-minute opening range. And so off of that range level, we've kind of pretty much expanded higher. It's been a slow grind to the upside. We're up about 97 points. Right, so that's the price action, right? This top line up here, that 355. Let me just go to that chart real quick so you can kind of see what I'm saying. So that's the last time we were kind of in this range from that 355 up to like 394. That's the last time price kind of got there. It had some struggles. So that's like my short-term, like, I guess, price target if price wants to continue pushing higher with some strength. So somebody in the chat, they did mention that Trump's going to be speaking between 11 and 12. So anything's possible, right? So, but we're pretty close to that level right now. Justo, D-Money was a pimp. He wasn't managing stores. He was managing women. LOL. Nah, I mean, yeah, guys, I've done, and listen, I'm extremely fortunate and blessed. You know, a store manager at Walmart, it's a really good job. It's a really good position, right? So, but obviously trading gives you more freedom. Like I said, right? I mean, I remember last year, I think at one point I had worked 3 months straight, no day off, 14, 15-hour days, right? And trading is the opposite of that, right? So I don't take it for granted. I do not use pivot points. I do not use pivots. I use I'll use basically areas on the chart where price kind of rejected before on a higher time frame. That's typically my kind of take profit longer term or you know, targets starting out for the day. So that's why I'm kind of calling out that 355 to, you know, 387, 390 level roughly. I wouldn't be surprised if price gets there today. Trade copier on Wise is actually Trade-Evade. So I'm copy trading on Trade-Evade. Meiji, hey man, just wanted to show appreciation for the humility you show that I think is felt from many of us viewers. It's something that's really refreshing in the trading world. Peace. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I'm just being myself. I do think a lot of people in the chat recognize that. Like, I'm not trying to be something, guys. I'm not. You know, so I'm humble. I'm excited to be here. I'm happy to be here. To wake up and be able to come in and do this for a living is my dream job. Honestly, it is. So I don't take it for granted. So I appreciate that. All right, so this is a current 1 hour chart. You just had the 11 o'clock candle just open, and the wick to the downside of the previous 1 hour candle is only about 10 points, right? So literally when this 10 o'clock candle opened, it only dropped down maybe 10 points and then started expanding to the upside, right? So not a huge retest. That's why I was cautious of it, and I'm not going to get married to holding trades because it wasn't a deep enough retest for me. So that's always in the back of my mind when I'm taking these trades. Just to kind of put things in perspective, on the 1 hour chart, we're actually right now, price is roughly 162 points away from the 14 EMA, right? And price loves to revisit those EMAs. So I'm kind of cautious of that when I'm looking at trades or looking at entries. Phil, wow, no VWAP. Yeah, I used to have it on my chart years ago, to be honest, and I made the mistake of getting too caught up in it, meaning that I would be like, oh, it's at the VWAP, it has to bounce, right? It has to react, and a lot of times it doesn't. So I would lose trades because I was solely going off where the price was compared to the VWAP versus kind of letting price action dictate my moves. So and guys, in a trending market, everything is going to work, right? Meaning that the EMAs are going to be respected, VWAP is probably going to be respected, and so on and so forth, right? So price action to me is king over everything because it tells a story. See, money, yeah, you're correct. You're correct. But like I'm kind of saying, when price is in momentum or has momentum, everything is typically going to work, right? It's going to be respected. So it's a preference thing. There's no right or wrong. There's nothing wrong with the VWAP. You guys will never hear me say that I don't, oh, like I would never, the VWAP is wrong. Like I'm basically saying, based off how I like to trade, I prefer using the EMAs. But, it's just a preference thing. That's it. Gar, are you green for now? DMONEY, yes. I'm up about $2,700 on the day so far. Let's go. Maybe short. I don't see. I mean, it's been slow grinding right now. All right, chat. So this is what I kind of look at. This is a pretty good example. This is the 15-minute chart. So start to kind of notice on the 15-minute chart how many green candles we've had in a row. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, right? We've had 6 green candles in a row. So that tells me that there hasn't been a strong retest in the market, right? Now, I'm not sitting here saying that we can't have another 6 candles. I'm not saying that. But what I'm saying is typically when you look at the chart, there's going to be typically after you get, pretty decent amount of green candles in a row, typically there's some kind of heavy retest coming to the downside, right? So just kind of keep that in mind. That's why I was saying as we get higher in price and we get further away from the EMAs, I would be cautious of kind of, right? Like how many buys, like I took I took like 3 to 4 trades. They were all buys, right? So how many buys are you going to take before there's a strong retest to re-enter, right? So I'm just kind of mindful of that. Overextended. Yeah, exactly. So now I'm not, like I said, price could continue to go higher. I do see this 355 level and higher today at some point. I think it's a huge possibility, but I'm also aware when you look at the 15-minute chart, we haven't had one single red candle yet. So, or in my case, black candle, right? Go figure. Kobe, my EMA settings, 14 and 50 EMA. It's just a preference setting, right? 14 and 50 EMA. AK DMONEY, this is true except on a strong trend day where she never lets up. Yeah, I mean that happens, but there has to be at some point some kind of retest, right? I mean for price, even if all right, look at the 1 hour chart, guys. This is the 1 hour chart. This is what I'm talking about. So on the 1 hour chart, you've had 1, 2, 3, 4 candles, and if you look at the price range from the bottom of the 7 o'clock candle, price has expanded up almost 300 points. So, and I'm not saying that price can't go higher and continue to put in green candles on a 1 hour chart. It's more, it can do that 1,000%, but that's not the question. The question is, where do you want to be buying as a buyer? That's the question, right? Like, do you want to be buying 300, almost 400 points above where it first started, or do you want a cheaper price? That's the question. Cypher, how often do you get a haircut? It just depends, right? But I got a haircut yesterday. Let's go. Typically, 7 to probably 10 days. I try to go 10 days. Sometimes it's 2 weeks. It just depends. Frank Dillon, yeah, you have to control your risk, and that's where, if you're, for me, like I used to struggle with that, because if I'm coming to the chart right now, maybe I missed that 930 open pump to the upside, I'm just kind of, maybe I'm disappointed and I'm just gonna click buy, and it might work out a few times. I'm not saying it won't, but the further you get away from the EMAs, typically, the higher the retest or harder the retest that's going to happen, right? And it's not saying it can happen right away. I'm not saying that. Price could very well push up here and take out this 355 level to the upside, and continue going. I'm not saying that's not the case, but where do you want to be a buyer? Like that's the question, right? I took 3 or 4 trades. They were all buys. I mean, I'm not disappointed in that. I mean, Joe Black, I get a haircut every 3 or 4 months. Let's go. All right, so well played. Please clear my doubt. If the red line is on top and the blue is below the red, does it mean that the market is going to go up? So with the EMAs, guys, so yeah, my red line, yeah, so let me kind of just point this out really quick, right? So I'll kind of show this again. So, all right. This is when the red line for bullish momentum on the 5-minute chart, or any of the charts actually for me, right? Because it doesn't change. My red line is the 14 EMA. The blue line is the 50 EMA. So yeah, when price crosses, the red line crosses above the 50, that means that there's bullish momentum to the upside. But I'm also looking for the EMAs to be spread out, right? Like further apart. Because when price is tight in this area, that kind of tells me that price is consolidating. But when it starts to spread apart, that means that there's bullish momentum, right? So I'm also looking at that. I'm not just looking at the EMA cross, because price can obviously cross the EMAs and then reject right back down. I'm looking for a price to expand higher, and then I'm trying to get in on a retest as close as I can to the EMAs. And then I'm trying to ride the momentum back to the upside. Top Step still having problems. Yeah, it's crazy, right? Yeah, so I actually trade, so for me, I actually trade minis. I don't trade micros, guys. I don't trade micros. There's nothing, listen, if you're comfortable trading micros and that's your strategy, that's how you trade, right? I'm not gonna tell you how to, what size or whatever to trade. $14 and $50 EMA. Yeah, I need to create something for the chat where I can automatically just kind of put that in, because it's that question comes up all the time. Yeah, $14 and $50 EMA. Yeah, it's EMA, exponential moving average. That's it. Derek, yeah, you're correct. Yeah, guys, yeah, I'm gonna stream until about 11:30, and then I'll come back at 1:30 Eastern time until 4 o'clock for Power Hour. Let's go. RFO X25, did you make good trades today? Yeah, I took all buys. They were all buys. I saw nothing on the chart that showed me, and if you kind of rewatch the beginning of the stream, so my thought process was going off the higher time frame. So, all right, this is the 4-hour chart, and price is above. We have a bullish EMA cross on the 4-hour chart. Even the daily from Friday closed bullish, right? So I saw basically, my thought process was that bulls were in control based off, you got a bullish EMA cross on the daily chart. You got EMAs, they're very well spread apart. Price closed pretty much as a bullish pin bar on Friday on the daily chart. So my bias today coming into the market was for buys. All right, you got another 15-minute candle that closed green. Let's go. Well, it's about to close green. Sorry, guys. I take that back. It may close green. You got a couple of minutes left. So, but yeah, that was my thought process coming into today. I would have liked to seen price at 9:30. Basically, do the little retest that it did before the market opened at 9:30, right? Because that would have been a little better for me as far as getting in for an entry. I did take the ORB trade because price pretty much pushed above it on the first trade, but I got stopped out because I didn't like the retest, and then I re-entered for buys, right? So I took all my trades today have been buys. Josh, D-Money, thank you. Good to watch. Would you re-enter when the 5-minute hits the 14 EMA or wait for the 50 EMA? It depends on the time of day, and it depends on if it's the first retest. Because a lot of times when you're playing these EMA retests, the first reaction to the 14 will give you like a decent reaction if the EMAs are very well spread apart, like it currently is on a 5-minute chart. So if price came down right now to the 25,282 level, a lot of times, not all the time, but a lot of times you will get a reaction off of it, right? Back to the upside. But you also have to be cautious that this current 15-minute candle, it's about to close in about 1 minute and 15 seconds. And this is the first 15-minute candle that may close without being green, right? So, and then when you look at the distance between the EMAs on the 15-minute chart, we're still about 86 points away from the 14 EMA on the 15-minute chart. So I'm mindful of that, right? DMONEY ES is going down. Take a look. Yeah, it very well could be. Like I said, it wouldn't surprise me if we got a deeper retest right before going higher. This is the 5-minute chart. And you got about 20 seconds left for this EMA to actually be respected, right? In this 15-minute chart, it's looking like we're gonna finally have a candle that closes red, right? And we did. So we had our first candle on the 15-minute chart that closed red. So that could mean more downside, right, for a deeper retest. Doesn't guarantee it. Do I need an assistant? No, I don't think so. Okay, FPL Fantasy. Used to live in Boca Raton 25 years ago, now in Moscow. When I was studying there, used to chill at Los Solos in A1A. Love it. Yeah, so yeah, I'm obviously very familiar with Boca and that area, and obviously, yeah, I live downtown myself now, right? Fort Lauderdale. So let's go. Yeah, so all right. You got no wick on the 15-minute candle, right? No wick on the bottom of the 15-minute candle that just closed. In this current 15-minute candle, it put in a lower low and a slight, a little bit lower low, right? And then now it's pushing directly back up. So it'd be interesting to see if this candle rejects further to the downside and is kind of trapping sellers right now. Or sorry, trapping buyers right now to reject lower towards that 14 EMA. But power hour today will be interesting because, all right, this is the time that somebody said Trump might be speaking, but if not, it might be 12, right? So for power hour, it's going to be interesting to see like where price is currently at, right? So wherever price is, depending on what Trump says, if he says anything that impacts the market, I'll be looking to react, right? So this is the current 1 hour candle. Price did put in a higher high, slightly above the previous 1 hour candle, and now it's forming that bottom wick. I feel tight range could be coming. Yeah, so you gotta be able to pick your spots, right? And you gotta know when it's time to not trade. I mean, there's nothing wrong with being patient and letting the market kind of pick a direction. Even though right now price obviously overall has been extremely bullish, time of day is important. If Trump is getting ready to speak, that's important, right? Because a lot of times there's volatility that comes into the market. But this is what I was kind of referring to on the 5-minute chart, right? See how price got close to the EMA? The low of this current candle was 289. The EMA was actually at 284, and you're expanding back to the upside, right? So as of right now, it's kind of holding that 14 EMA. Robert, I need 25, 325. Could be possible, right? Windmill, DMONEY holding his own. Hey, I appreciate that, man. I'm just trying to make a little money, right? Alan, I'm from Pembroke. I went to Riverwalk in downtown Fort Lauderdale this weekend. Awesome place. Yeah. So yeah, actually, I used to live in West Miramar. So pretty close to Pembroke Pines, right? So let's go. Kelly. Yeah, Robert, I hope you didn't buy the top, right? So, because if you waited for at least a retest on the 5-minute chart as close as you possibly could to the EMA, you would have been up in profit. So, but price is almost at 320 right now, so I'm not sure where your entry was. Chaz, any chance you can turn the screen to black? Yeah, so Chaz, I actually stick to the white charts. I'm sorry, I apologize, brother. X-Lord, I'm in Daytona. Have you ever been? So believe it or not, so I'm born and raised in Florida, chat, right? So born and raised, I have not been to Daytona Beach. So that's definitely an area I would like to visit. Probably put it on the list, right? So, all right, here's that expansion higher. So, all right. Typically on days like this, when you start seeing price respect the 14 EMA on the lower time frame, it'll tend to hold for the day, right? Because it's trending, price is trending. So I am going to keep an eye on that going into power hour time because might be able to get more setups based off of that. But this trade off the 14 EMA, I mean, you would, you know, that's a 30-point trade, right? Not bad. Jan, I do not trade gold. I do not trade gold. I just trade NASDAQ. That's it. Charting platform, I use TradingView and to chart, and I actually take trades off of Tradevate, right? Which is the trade copier. Let's go. Yeah, I'm buying and selling off Tradevate, trade copier, because so in this session I'm trading the Apex accounts, 5 of the funded 150K accounts on Apex. So I'll probably trade the Lucid accounts in the afternoon session, the straight to funded accounts with Lucid, and it'll be copy trading them on Tradevate as well, the trade copier. Maiden, yes, I'm gonna be ending the stream around 11:30, and I'll be back at 1:30 Eastern Standard Time for the afternoon session. Correct. Minis. I'm trading minis. Yeah, I don't trade micros. Guys, like you know, I don't have anything against micros. It depends on your risk tolerance and your account size, right? Southern Diesel, I trade I'm trying to get a bias off the 1 hour or 4 hour chart, depending on the time of day that I'm trading. And preferably I'm trying to get a wick retest on the higher time frame, which would kind of hopefully line up with the 14 EMA or the 50 EMA, depending on where our price is on the 5-minute chart. Typically my entries are off the 5-minute chart. Debo, yeah, I took 3 or 4 trades today. I took all buys. I'm up about $2,700. Correct. Yes. Debo, I appreciate it. Thanks. 14 and 50 EMA. Those are the settings for the EMAs. 14 and 50. 14 and 50 EMA. Let's go. How to copy trade. I think PW has a video on his YouTube page in regards to how to copy trade. Tradeovate's not hard. So basically, if you go here to the chart, you go to manage groups and you hit the plus sign. You basically just drag it, you title it and you drag and drop the account you want to copy trade, and that's it. Let's go. One Frey, blessings from Panama City. So is that Panama City, Florida? I was actually born there, by the way. So is that Panama City, Florida? Let's go. Florida represent Jacksonville. Hey, nice. Brickle Crypto Trader, was up D-Money, waiting on retest to take the trap up. Yeah, so and right now it's kind of on the 5-minute chart, it's kind of ranging, right? It put in that higher high, but now it's kind of stuck. So yeah, that could be possible. Lily OV, how do you add another prop firm? A lot of times prop firms don't allow you to mix other prop firms together, so just kind of you got to check the rules of the prop firm that you're trading. So, but if not, you would have to basically log out of one prop firm and log in on Tradeovate to the other prop firm, right? But there are trade copiers out there, but I don't recommend them because I've been seeing a lot of negative feedback in regards to them not working properly, right? So I stick with Tradeovate. Let's go. Yeah, so prices slowly expanding up, right? So not a surprise. All right, so does it happen when A+ setups where you go very, very big D-Money? I mean, I pretty much stick to 1 to 2 contracts per account. 2 contracts for me is plenty. So it would have to be a very measured stop for me to go bigger than that. So Joseph, really enjoyed this stream this morning. Very profitable, off to the gym and back for power hour. Thanks, D-Money. Hey, hey, you did all the work, right? So congrats on the profit. I'm not hitting buy or sell for you guys, chat, right? I'm just calling out what I see in the market and the trades that I'm taking. So you're doing all the work on your end. Let's go. D-Money tuning in and trading with you from Destin, Fort Walton Beach. You're amazing for the BDH. Hey, I appreciate that. Like I said, I'm just trying to make a little money, right? So I'm glad that, like I said, guys, I'm glad. I know I said this earlier, but I'm glad that I'm able to add value to the BDH network, right? That's what it's all about. So. D-Money, you should put a text box at the top of your chart that says 14 and 50 EMA, and I'm staying with the white background. That you know what? That's a good idea. I'll probably take you up on that, to be honest. Bob Smith, like your style and discipline. Hey, I appreciate that, man. Like, honestly, chat, like I've basically, the reason why I trade how I trade now is because I've blown so many accounts trading different styles, and I had to realize that for me, number one, the higher time frame is your friend. It can keep you out of a lot of bad trades. And number two is taking a ton of trades doesn't mean you're going to be profitable, right? So, and having a measured stop loss, like at least, you know, if I know where my stop loss has to be, and I'm taking the same trades over and over, I know that I'm going to be profitable, right? And maybe I have a losing trade, maybe I have a couple losing trades, you know, or even a losing day. A losing day doesn't mean you're going to be red for the week, right? It's all about how you end the week, not necessarily, you know, a day, right? So I'm just taking the best trades that I can take based off of my strategy, and I have to live with that. So I've had to learn that over time. All right, so near first $2,000 payout ever in your first week here combined. Your time frame and patience work as well. Some of PW and had an A+ week. Thank you, D-Money. Hey, like I said, congrats on the payout. You did all the work, right? Not me. Congrats. Let's go. Approved today, near. Hey, there's nothing like that payout, right? That first payout, it proves that it's possible. Number one, it proves that you can do it. It proves that it's real, right? Because until you get a payout, you're basically traded simulated money, right? Like, well, when you get that payout to your account, that's when you know it's real, right? So congrats. Tim Hoffey, what's up? That boy good. That boy good. CEO Cruz, D-Money, when I try to trade on Tradeovate Group, it says that it should be a multiple of 6. What does that mean? Yeah, that means that you have to take at least your order, your position size has to at least be 6 because it's spread out across, you probably have 6 accounts, right? So you got to at least take, your sizing has to show at least 6. So as an example, if you wanted to take 2 contracts per account, your position size would have to be 12, right? Because it's divided by the amount of accounts that you have. Guy, Brazil here. D, good job on your lives. Hey, I appreciate that, man. It really means a lot. I got to be honest, chat, right? So the positive comments, as long as they outweigh the negative, right? I think I'm doing all right. So let's go. PW in the chat. We making money. So chat, drop a W in the chat if you made money with D-Money today. Let's go. If you made money with D-Money today, drop a W in the chat. Let's go. That boy good. That boy good. Nice, nice, nice. I like. Robert, PW, go back to eating tacos. We got this. Let's go. No, but it like, guys, I don't take it for granted, right? Like I said, I'm going to take the best possible trades that I can take over time. I know my win rate, you know, it's going to be pretty high based off of that. So we're going to keep it going. So yeah, price is stalling, right? It is stalling kind of like in this area, but based off the time of day, you know, the higher time frame. So if you go to the 30-minute chart, has not put in a red candle yet. 15-minute chart had one red candle and then an expansion to the upside. And actually, the funny thing is, on the 15-minute chart, the last 15-minute candle was actually a bullish engulfing candle, right? So it had a higher high and a lower low compared to the previous candle. So that's bullish as well for continued momentum to the upside. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised. Power hour is going to be interesting, right? So like I said, I'm going to kind of measure where we're at with price this afternoon, and we'll see if we get some kind of drop to the downside, maybe with Trump speaking, if Trump's going to speak, like somebody said earlier. But based off what I'm seeing on the chart, I'm bullish, right? I don't see any reason for sales at the current moment. Now, if Trump comes out and says something crazy or something that spooks the market, obviously that's different, right? So every session is a little bit different. So I'm going to have an open mind going into the power hour session because, you know, depending on where our price is, depending on if Trump says something crazy or he tweets something, whatever, right? I'm going to be versatile. So, but we made some monies. Let's go. All right, so Kelly, White House app says speech will begin shortly. He's having a bilateral lunch with PM of Aussie land. Gotcha. Mila, yeah, lunchtime. Yeah, I see that. All right, chat. So I'm gonna call it here for the stream. So I think very good stream. Made some monies, right? So gonna come back at 1:30 Eastern for the afternoon session. I'll be streaming until 4 o'clock, trying to make some more, right? So I'll plan to trade the Lucid accounts this afternoon. I traded the Apex accounts this AM. So let's go. I'll catch you guys for the afternoon session. I'm gonna go grab some lunch. I'll be back.